Zien sees this scene from a distance. Duxian returns sadly, holding the bouquet. Zien understands. Duxian's confession failed. Duxian seriously says, "Please don't go back to Susie." He said, "The time she spent with you was the most embarrassing phase of her life." Zien just gives a bitter smile. At the end of the holiday, Susie is about to return to school, but shockingly, no one comes to see her off. After rejecting both Zien and Duxian, her life suddenly turned quiet. But just as the car is about to leave, Duxian appears at the last moment. Susie is a little surprised. She had just rejected his proposal yesterday. Yet he brings her a sweet dessert and lovingly says, "Take care on your journey." After getting off the car, Duxian calls and softly tells Susie, "I'll never stop chasing you." Susie returns home and immediately receives a sweet check-in message from Duxian. But the call she truly expects is from Zien. Duxian remembered that Susie loved chocolate. So he decided to become a pastry chef and promised to visit Seoul soon. Susie doesn't reject him directly. Instead, she says, "Do come. I'll cook dinner for you." On the other side, when Xian returns to school, her artwork starts grabbing the most attention. Xian's artwork gets noticed by V. And when Susie finds out that Xian might be going to America for further studies, Xian feels a bit low and takes her to an art exhibition hall, where Susie realizes it's the same place where her ex-boyfriend had displayed her seductive sculpture. It was an uncomfortable place for her. But for Xian, it was the moment where she first saw Susie. For her, that was the beginning. They had met again at a bar, which Xian believed was fate, but to Susie, it was nothing more than coincidence. Xian decided to do everything to win Susie back, and so she became a model for Susie's art studio. How could such a classy girl become a model? But only Susie knew it was all for her. Whenever Xian sat among the students, her gaze always fell on Susie. A few days later, Doohoo actually comes to Seoul. He personally brings lunch for Susie. Susie is very happy, but their close moment is seen by Xian, and she quietly walks away. Then Susie shows her artwork to Doohee. He praises it a lot, and in his gentle presence, Susie becomes a little emotional, like she's caught between two relationships. After Doohee leaves, Susie feels guilty and walks alone on the street. Without realizing, she ends up in the same, where she had once met Xian. Just then, Xian calls, but Susie doesn't pick up. What she doesn't know is that Xian was right behind her. When their eyes meet, everything pauses for a moment. In that silence, they begin to understand each other. This time, Xian doesn't cross any boundaries. She just silently walks with Susie and drops her home. Meanwhile, Doohee tells his friends about Susie. They all say, "This is the perfect time. Go confess." Doohee excitedly arrives at Susie's house, but is stunned to see her walking in with Xian. Susie tells Xian, "Wait here, I'll grab your stuff." But Xian notices Doohoo and follows her upstairs anyway. Inside the house, Xian sees the old balcony wind chime, their shared memory. Susie hands him his belongings and says, but Xian quietly sits down, holds her hand, and makes a light, funny comment in his own way. Susie feels a little more relaxed. Their eyes meet, and a strange silence fills the room. Xian slowly leans in toward her lips, but this time, Susie pushes her away. She opens the fridge to cool herself down. But Xian doesn't give up. She gently holds Susie's shoulder and says something softly. That night, Susie can't sleep. She just keeps staring at the wind chime, confused whether Xian's words were real or just another act. The next day, Susie's emotional turmoil causes a delay in her art progress. Her France exchange program gets cancelled. Meanwhile, in her hometown, Doohee watches a video of Susie, and as memories come flooding back, exactly at the moment Xian comes to console her, Xian sees it and feels hurt. Susie chose someone else in her moment of pain. Now, Xian feels broken inside. After recent rejections, she starts to believe Susie has really moved on. On the other side, sensing Susie's low mood, Doohee decides to go to Seoul once again. Xian searches for another chance to talk to Susie. Before getting off the bus, Xian pulls out a bracelet she made by hand, and without saying anything, gently ties it on Susie's wrist. Susie doesn't refuse, and hope sparks in Xian's heart again. While they're having lunch together, Susie gets a call from Doohee. The moment she hears he's come to meet her, she happily jumps up and walks away, leaving Xian behind. Doohee brings a special gift for Susie, a photo album of their beach memories. Then he quietly confesses. Hearing this, Susie understands everything. She finds Xian standing outside her gate. Xian already knew Doohee had visited, but never mentioned it to Susie. She feels like Xian is still trying to manipulate her. When Zian accuses, Susie's patience snaps. She had never felt this much disappointment. She leaves Zian standing in the rain and collapses on the floor, crying loudly. Like this time she was truly exhausted by this relationship. And Zian, standing in the rain? But when those words come out of her mouth, even she can't understand why she caused so much pain. Maybe she had ruined everything. Susie goes to school, but another heartbreak awaits. Her entire semester's sculpture project gets shattered into pieces by a falling ceiling fan. Graduation is near, and this is a disaster. Susie is shattered. She just sits on the floor, staring at the broken pieces. And when she arrives at school and sees Susie like this, she quietly sits beside her. Let's make it again, Susie. This time. Both put complete focus on their work. There's no romantic tension like before, only a silent understanding and mutual support. Susie finds this phase. Zian maintains distance, never offering to drop Susie home. But whenever she saw Susie sleeping somewhere, she quietly placed a blanket over her. Their project gets completed ahead of time. Tears fill Zian's eyes, but she only smiles and says, "I hope your graduation is perfect." She wanted to say more, but feared hurting Susie again. Watching her sad face, Susie's eyes fill with tears too. Zian simply disappears. Susie returns to her routine. Everywhere she goes in the city, memories of Zian follow. She accidentally opens the drawing album Zian had given her and finds that every sketch was of her. Her heart swells with emotion. On graduation day, Susie wears the bracelet Zian gave her. Du-hee also comes to celebrate, bringing his friend Yang Jagang along. But when Du-ha spots Zian in the crowd, he quietly pulls back his bouquet. By the time he runs outside to find her, Zian is already gone. Then Du-hee follows silently behind Susie. Now Du-hee fully understands. Susie never liked him the way he liked her. Susie gives him a slightly guilty look, but Du-hee just smiles and thanks her. "Because of you, I felt a special emotion, and for that, you don't need to feel guilty." Then he gives her Yang Gang's gift as a farewell present. Du-hee quietly exits this love story, becoming the soft-hearted, one-sided boy in everyone's memory. At the graduation party, everyone is enjoying with their partners. And Susie, watching them, feels a little lonely inside. She quietly leaves the venue, ends up once again at the same gallery. There, standing in front of her artwork, is a familiar silhouette. Seeing Zian, Susie's heart skips a beat. But her reaction is sharp. She says, "You disappeared, so why not just vanish completely and shake up my feelings again?" Zian has no answer. She just stands silently, with her head down. Then Susie looks at her and notices the same bracelet on Zian's hand that she had once made for her. In that moment, Susie realizes her heart still beats for Zian. A quiet moment passes between them. Then Susie gently holds her hand. Zian smiles softly, a genuine that had long disappeared, and this time it is Susie who kisses her first. Their love begins anew, a sweet, gentle relationship. Even now, sometimes girls try to flirt with Zian, but she has learned to politely refuse. The former heartbreaker is now truly loyal to her love, and with Susie, to that same familiar and loving rhythm where their playful romance comes alive once more. This story comes to an end. Let me know in the comments how you like this story, and don't forget to subscribe to the channel for more such interesting dramas.